Hello everyone, my name is EchoPantherT, and today I am here to give a little bit of a guide to Rain. It's been about a week since Mortal Kombat 1 released, and I haven't seen a lot of Rain gameplay, and also on the few streams that I visited of people playing Rain, they said there weren't a lot of guides or references onto how to play him. So I'm just going to give a little small amateur explanation how I play Rain. We'll start with the basics. Rain is a mid-range to far-range character who plays best with spacing. He can attack from full screen, and most of his setups for his special moves are from mid to far screen. We'll start with his special moves to give a better example of how he plays. The first special move I want to go over is Rain's back forward 1, which is a full screen projectile. As you can see, I charge it there. It starts up at 34 frames by default, but when you charge it, it maxes out to 81 startup frames. So it's a pretty slow projectile, but overall it's really good and really useful, especially if you're trying to stop somebody from waking up once you knock them down. It also has a bit of anti-air properties because the full projectile itself is a hitbox. So if somebody jumps in the air and they say get tapped by the tail end of the projectile, it'll knock them out the air. It also has an enhanced version, which that's not it. It's the regular version. That's the enhanced version. By description, the enhanced version just takes a bar, so I assume it does more damage when it lands, if it lands. But other than that, that's his basic go-to projectile. Now, you can do the regular hit and it knocks down, and if you do the full charge hit, it puts in a stagger state, which allows for a follow-up attack afterwards. The next move that I want to go over is Rain's back forward 4, which is his ancient trap move. This move starts at mid-range by default, but you can enhance it, or you can hold the forward direction to extend its range to far, or if you expect somebody to dash forward or do something like that, you can hold back and it'll put a close portal. His ancient trap is best used, in my experience, when you get knocked down. You can set it up for somebody that you expect to do a wake-up attack, or just to make them block low if they know how to block it, and it keeps them in position. I've also used this trap a lot to catch people jumping out of the air. If I expect them to jump, say if I'm in the mid-range, usually a lot of people, when you're close to them, like to jump forward when they wake up to try and dodge attacks. If I could do the input correctly. So I would throw it close or mid-range because it has a habit of appearing behind people and pulling them in. The next special move that I want to go over is also another one that I use frequently, which is Rain's quarter circle back 3. This move is his geyser attack, and for the majority of gameplay, this is what you would end combos with, or at least what I use as a standard combo ender. But this is also Rain's wake up tool with armor when you enhance it. It hits low twice, and it is a good block stun to end combos with. As I was saying earlier, I usually use Rain's quarter circle back 3 to either pick up when I get pressured or to end combos. That one doesn't work just by that. It takes some timing, but it hits twice, so even when you land the hit in the combo, it'll push the opponent back far enough for you to begin sending up taps and stuff. The next move that I want to go over for Rain's special moves is his quarter circle back 1, which is this move. This move is also a good combo ender, but it's best used as an anti-air. It also hits up front if the opponent is close enough, and if they're in the air from mid-range or far range, it'll knock them out the air. I also use this as a combo extender. It's really good for that, because when you enhance it, it leaves them in the air long enough for you to jump cancel and continue the combo from there. One of his visually gimmicky moves, and one of my favorite to randomly throw out to mix people, is his Rain God move. Using this move is a little bit risky, especially up close, because it leaves you open in the air and they can hit you out of it very easily. But just like his ancient trap, you can control the distance and spacing for this move. So you can launch it far. By default, it's at the mid-range, and you can make it close. This move actually combos with his ancient trap move, but it does take a bit of timing practice to get down. Another good special move in Rain's arsenal is his quarter circle back 2. This is his water gate move. It allows you to teleport through the gate if you input quarter circle forward 2 after spawning the gate. It's a very good movement tool that allows you to travel through the open space during neutral. You can also do this move in the air, which is also helpful. If you set this up correctly and you teleport to it, you can attack immediately after closing the space between you and your opponent. Or you could also set it up during neutral, and if you end up on the opposite side of the opponent, you can use it to either escape pressure or just to teleport behind the opponent to gain some space in order to begin using projectiles and setting up traps. The enhanced version of this move is very special because it turns into an attack. If you create 2 water gates and input quarter circle forward 2 enhance, it creates a beam attack that'll do some damage, and it looks pretty cool. But it is also pretty difficult to set up in my experience, because you either have to plan it or notice it after you've unconsciously created 2 gates. But it is a pretty fun tool to make use of whenever you can. Now we'll cover Rain's basic attacks. As I was saying earlier, he is a zoner, so he is best at far space, but if you want his best combos, you will have to get close. The first basic combo that I want to go over is his 1-1-2. This move is good for checking opponents that like to apply pressure with a bunch of punches. It hits high, so it is something to be careful of, because they could guard or duck it and it could leave you open. But if you just notice somebody is pressing a lot of buttons, it is his fastest attack, so you could just interrupt them with 2 of these. It is also good for knockback if it lands, but even on block, it pushes back far enough for him to be safe in the mid-range. There's an alternate variation, which is 1-1-4, which hits low. So if you want to, say, mix up the opponent with 1-1-2 highs and 1-1-4 lows, it is a good high-low mix to engage in. You can also end 1-1-4 with the special mix, which is good for extra damage and pushback to get some space from the opponent. The next string that I want to go over is Rain's 2-1-1-2. This move is a very good 4-hit string that will leave the opponent in the mid-range if they block it and send them to the far range if they get hit, as you just saw. And it will give you the opportunity to set up more traps or full screen attack with his projectile. This move is also good for catching opponents out the air. For example, if you charge hit 4, you can combo into it just that easy. The next string that I'm going to go over is Rain's forward 2-1-3. This is one of my favorite moves to use because a lot of people will catch the mid hit first and not block the low hit. It's very quick, so it can also be used to interrupt pressure, but it is a bit risky if you're up close. But it hits very nice from the mid range, and you can also cancel this into special and jump cancel into a combo. The next move that I want to go over is Rain's 3-2. This is his overhead launch, and to me one of the best mix-up tools that he has. It is pretty risky from the mid-range, but if you say get somebody to duck by conditioning them, it is a very good tool to launch and start in the combo. I usually use this move by whiffing the first hit because it gets people to press a button as a response, and then hitting them with the second hit. But as I was saying earlier, it's risky to just throw out there because it is pretty slow, and if they block it, it'll leave you open for a bit. The next move I want to go over is Rain's 4, which is his kick. And earlier when I used it, I charged it. When you charge it, you can get a follow-up combo, but target hit makes it 31 frames, so it can be interrupted if somebody jabs you or hits you before you get the full charge. So in comparison to just randomly throwing the projectile, it is pretty quick, say in the middle of a fight when the pressure is on and somebody isn't paying attention to it. And last, Rain's 3 is one of his gimmick moves, or I like to think of it as a gimmick move because it hits high, but it starts up from the ground. This move is good for just throwing out when you're close range. You can also combo it as a special to launch someone. It also interrupts jumping attacks too. If you see someone jump and you can press it quick enough, it will interrupt their air attack or knock them out the air. And seeing as we've gone over specials in the basics, I'm going to show a little bit of his combo paths. Rain's combo paths are pretty standard. You'll get the most damage out of being in close mid-range, but they all pretty much have the same route. And those are pretty much the basics for how to play Rain. A lot of his gameplay relies on being able to move in and out of spaces to keep distance. But I have played him offensively in the close range, so you can be aggressive with Rain, but I usually am very patient in keeping spacing and using things like projectiles to control the neutral of the match. And that's pretty much all I have for playing ranked. Give them a try, see how you like them. But overall, enjoy playing Mortal Kombat 1, guys. Have fun!